This is the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling.
What the world is watching.
John Cena. So we are counting down, and he has only a few appearances remaining in his retirement tour with the WWE. So who is his final opponent going to be? Well, I think we just found out. What's up, you guys? I'm the Wrestling Old Head. You have entered the portal of pro wrestling, and today we're talking about John Cena's final opponent. So, John Cena, it seems like he's getting his choice of where his the final matches and the final programs and the final storylines are all in his hands. And presumably for the first time in his WWE career, he really gets to put his career in his own hands. And I think that's fair. I think he's given enough time in professional wrestling, and he's done the things that he was told to do without much pushback or debate. So now he gets to do what he wants to do. And he's wrestling AJ Styles this weekend at WWE's Crown Jewel. And AJ Styles cut a promo this past Monday on Raw talking about there isn't a story. It's just me and John Cena going out and giving you the best possible match and finishing their story, essentially, right? So then you got Survivor Series, and I firmly believe we're going to see John Cena in his first ever War Games match. And then after that, he's at Saturday night's main event in his final match. So just who will be his opponent? Well, the rumor and innuendo, if you are so inclined, if you've gone to the websites, the F4Ws, the postwrestling.coms, then you probably already know that the prevailing rumor right now is that it is Gunther. I've said that from the beginning. Other content creators have said that from the beginning. I think it is the right move to give him a match against Gunther, and I'm here to tell you why. Gunther, this guy is a final boss. Before The Rock came out and called himself the final boss, I was calling Gunther, aka Volta, the final boss, because he is. When you get in the ring with Gunther, it's unlike any other professional wrestler that you've ever gotten in the ring with, and he is dominated all over the world. He uses chops. He uses very, very old school wrestling maneuvers to weaken his opponent. He's got a great strategy of mind games, cutting promos. He shows respect to certain wrestlers, no matter if they're fan favorites or if they're most hated. One thing that I've noticed is Gunther has a legend killer in him. Very similar to Randy Orton, but different. When Randy Orton was going out and beating up legends, it was one thing. But Gunther could potentially be ending legends' careers. Not by Pillmanizing them, not by throwing them down a flight of stairs, not by running them over with a car and doing it for The Rock, but by retiring them. And I think that's an interesting program that I don't think I've ever really seen before. And if you guys have seen something similar outside of Randy Orton, go ahead and drop that in the comments section. But I think it is a unique path for Gunther to take. He is the type of wrestler that should get that type of a role. Now, he's already retired, subsequently retired, Goldberg. He was a part of Goldberg's final match on Saturday night's main event. Now, where's John Cena's final match going to take place? Oh, Saturday night's main event. So, to put Gunther in the ring with John Cena and have him beat John Cena in John Cena's final match, that would give him two legends that he retired, or at least was a part of their final match. Goldberg, then John Cena. Now, there are two other potential WWE superstars that might be hanging it up by the end of 2026. One, for certain. The other, it's a possibility. The first, AJ Styles. AJ Styles is letting everyone know that he wants to retire before he doesn't look like AJ Styles anymore. He wants fans to remember him at his peak. So he's going to bow out gracefully. Gunther and AJ Styles, at least to my knowledge, have haven't crossed paths on WWE television at all. So if you put Gunther in a match with AJ Styles in his final match and he beats AJ Styles, that gives him 3. And the other possibility of retiring, and I'm not saying I know this for a fact, is a Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar decides that by the end of 2026 or early 2027, he's going to hang it up for good, that is the one match, Gunther and Brock Lesnar, that we thought we would have seen last year. We were clamoring for that match at WrestleMania. I don't know a lot of people that were clamoring, but I certainly was interested in seeing that. And I believe at the time they were going to have Brock Lesnar play a fan favorite. Now, he'll more than likely be most hated, unless he has another interaction with John Cena where he shakes his hand, gives him a hug, and the fans might endear themselves to that type of respect bestowed upon their favorite John Cena. So if Gunther can wipe out Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles, and then Brock Lesnar, that is the ultimate passing of the torch. Now, I'll grant you there's an idea that's going around, a big popular idea, that fans would like to see Obafemi come out from NXT, get called up to the main roster, and challenge John Cena and beat John Cena. I mean, talk about an ultimate passing of the torch. Obafemi debuts with the WWE main roster, be it Raw or SmackDown, and ends the career of John Cena in a respectful way by beating him 1, 2, 3 in the ring in his final match, not crippling him or injuring him or anything like that. And I understand why people are drawing that conclusion, because Obafemi essentially has everything. He's gotten the rub from Undertaker. The fans see it, the wrestlers see it. We all see that there is a future with Obafemi. So I'll grant you Obafemi, but I'll tell you something that might work a little bit better. So here we are at Speculation Station. Let's say, for instance, my theory comes true. Gunther defeats all 4 of those legends that I mentioned: Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles, and a Brock Lesnar, right? So at that point, he's going to be sitting on the top of the hill, on the top of the mountain, in the pantheon of one of the greats. He would be known as the main guy, the final boss. So who could step in the ring and challenge him and even look formidable? Obafemi, right? The only other person that I could think of would be Braun Breaker. And you can get to that in a number of different ways, right? You can have Gunther become a fan favorite, or Braun Breaker become a fan favorite. But essentially, in 2026, 2027, maybe even as far out as 2028, the top guys in the WWE would essentially be Obafemi, Braun Breaker, and Gunther. Gunther having all of those legends on his body count going against Obafemi. If Obafemi were to beat Gunther at WrestleMania, well, now you've got a made man. And I think that is a good route to take. I think that is a very conceivable act to go down, a plot device, a storyline even. So it's not about bringing in Obafemi and hot-shotting him in a situation where he's at the top of the card right away. You've got a long window to draw that out and make it something special. I think with hot-shotting, it works in certain degrees, but it's better when it's a slow burn. And I know what you're saying. That's all Paul Levesque does, is slow burns. He slow burns so much that sometimes the wick burns out before the wax can melt on that candle, and you don't have anything exciting, and you don't really have anything to look forward to. And I'd be willing to agree with that. I think there are times when you can hotshot, and there are times when you can let it play out. For instance, a lot of people are saying Seth Rollins and CM Punk's feud has run its course. And I'd be willing to bet that there's not a whole lot in the middle. There was a great portion at the beginning there between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, but now we've got this stretched out storyline, and they haven't given us a lot to sink our teeth into in the middle. Of course, we've had some moments here and there, but the overall story is starting to dry out a little bit. So by the time CM Punk finally beats Seth Rollins, it'll be a sigh of relief rather than an exploding chorus of cheers and joyous celebration. So with Obafemi coming in from NXT and going up to the main roster, if they were to build him as an unstoppable beast and show that it's not just NXT where he can dominate in the WWE in the main roster form, you build him to get to a point where he can dethrone a monster. Gunther is a special type of a monster. Like I said before, he is a tactician. He is a mind games expert. He is a final boss. That match, if done right, could main event WrestleMania and put some of the fresher guys like Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, and some of the other guys that are on the upper card to the main event scene into situations where now you've got some excitement, you've got some interest, and you've got a lot to play with. That would be where I would go personally with something like that. So instead of putting Obafemi against John Cena, you put Gunther against John Cena, and then you build Obafemi up once he makes the main roster. And then, of course, you've got Ricky Saints, who has a win over Obafemi. Trick Williams, who is going to get called up at any moment, who has the charisma and the pizzazz to really be a top guy in the company. He's got some stuff over Obafemi. So you've got all of these up-and-coming athletes that are now main event talent because they worked around guys that were beasts, that were legends, and that have legends on their body count. So that's all I'm saying. I agree with the rumor that Gunther should be John Cena's final opponent, and I think you should build Obafemi, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, Ricky Saints, Jacob Fatu, and all those other guys up into the card. So now you've got a future main event scene that can garner a lot of fan interaction and interest. Is that what the WWE is interested in doing? Is that what TKO Katraz is interested in doing? That all remains to be seen. But I would be very excited if they go to that route. Now, what about you guys? Is John Cena's final opponent going to be Gunther? Do you think it should be Gunther? What about Obafemi? What about Braun Breaker? What about Brock Lesnar? You guys let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by the Portal of Pro Wrestling. I am the Wrestling Old Head. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're inclined. And remember, it's free, you guys. And there's a lot of karma with doing a good deed. And also hit the notifications bell because you never know when I'll be dropping from the Portal of Pro Wrestling to give you my opinion on the current product. Thanks again, you guys. Stay tuned for more.